America is old. You guys
It's
do anything?
250 old? I feel like that's pretty sprightly for a country.
I don't know, man.
There's a lot of countries that go early. The infant mortality rate of countries is pulling the average number down.
Yeah. I feel like it's been a pretty good run so far. I don't know. What any thoughts or what one word to describe America's birthday? Danny, go.
Rancid.
One word? Disappointing.
I go with guzzling. No, I don't know. As in fuel, gasoline guzzling, and food guzzling, and obviously fluid guzzling. Yeah. Okay. Cool. America. Yay. Have you guys read the Declaration of Independence recently?
I have to admit, it's been a few years.
Yeah, I can't say that I have. Yeah, I'm not a British monarch, so I don't peruse that one. It wasn't really intended for me.
I'm not sure they read it. I don't know.
I bet George III read it, dude.
I think he got the gist early on.
There's a lot of filler in there. Just like any founding document of any country. A lot of specific grievances that got skimmed through.
My segment is a game show today. The game where we opine on just how much shit people are willing to stomach before they snap. You know, the 4th of July did make me think of this because America revolted against the British because they just got pushed a little bit that much too far. And that was that. If you read the Declaration, there's just a list of complaints that are just like, I don't know, kind of...
I mean, you know what that's about, though. You ever get mad and you're having an argument and you start throwing in stuff that normally wouldn't bother you, but you just need to keep saying things because you're still mad. That's kind of what the Declaration of Independence is about.
There's that one time, like in Virginia, when you didn't let us have our guy. Yeah, it was kind of like that.
And I said hi, but you turned around, and I wasn't sure if you had heard me, and then it got your attention, but then it was weird.
That's the motivation behind what I think could be a real hit game show called Boil That Frog. Are you guys ready?
I'm so ready.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I've been practicing my whole life.
Okay, good. Yeah, boiling a frog, you guys know, if you just keep on turning it up slowly, then the frog will just, happily die in boiling water, or maybe not that happy. But the point is, it won't do shit about it.
So the idiom goes, though it is something that frogs actually don't do. They do jump out of the water before they die.
Makes sense.
That would make sense. That's just the title. I'm not vouching for the scientificity of that idiom.
Yep, you're just explaining the idiom.
Good, yes. Okay, we're starting off, got great momentum here. All right, so, okay, you guys brought your paper pads and your notebooks. All right, we're playing, basically, here's the plan. We're playing with Price is Right rules, but there are no units, and, it's going to be nonsensical mayhem. But basically, I'm going to talk about a demographic, and you guys are going to write down what it would take for that demographic to snap, finally turn it around.
In unitless outrage points?
Yes, yeah. And then,
Good start.
And then we're going to compare that to the expert pre-drafted opinion of what I think. Yeah, basically you're trying...
So I'm guessing what you think about the average American then? Or what do you think about these demographics?
You're guessing what I think about these demographics and also how I'll do unit conversion. And also you're guessing what Phil will write and trying to one-up him by just a little bit, because Price is Right rules. If you go over, then you lose.
Yeah.
All right, clear as mud. I'm ready.
Cool. Let's start small. Republican Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Republicans, they trail in the polls across the country. Americans are pissed that they're never going to own a house, but Jeff Bezos gets to have his own space program. And Congress was poised to do something about it. They passed this law to try to streamline housing construction until...
Gee, that sounds great. What happened?
Well, the president wanted them to pass some voter suppression bill instead, so he just didn't show up to the signing and threw a little fit, because he's a fat, old, stupid fuck. So anyway, but MJ is taking it in stride. That's one data point for you guys. That didn't do it. What will it take for Speaker of the House Mike Johnson to snap?
So you want us to write this down?
Outrage points.
No, I think he wants a scenario, right? All right, I've got a scenario.
You'll find out.
I can write
down
here.
All right, Danny thinks he knows what would make Speaker Mike Johnson
What will it take for
snap.
Mike Johnson to snap?
I think Phil's listening to Danny's marker movements, trying to cheat off him.
That would be very impressive if he did, dude. I wouldn't even be upset. I'd just be impressed.
What did you guys write down? What will it take for Speaker of the House Mike Johnson to finally snap?
Is that legible? I can't actually see.
Trump watches porn with Mike Johnson's son, loses 50% of campaign funding. All right.
I don't know if you know this, David, but Mike Johnson and his son are porn accountability buddies, where they each make sure the other one's not watching porn.
That's a wholesome father-son activity.
I did.
See, I was actually thinking something very along those lines. I was like, maybe if Trump fucked his wife, but then I thought, no, I think he'd still be on Trump's side if Trump fucked his wife.
All right, so who's the closest? What's going over here?
Well, Mike Johnson, I couldn't think of a scenario where he would snap. 50% of funding is interesting. I was imagining, like, let's say Antifa breaks into Congress in a reverse Jan 6th, and it's just him and 2 Capitol Police, and he has to, like, lift, like, one finger to save the country. I assume he would chicken out and probably slink away.
I think if Antifa did that, that would fit very well within his worldview. So I think he wouldn't change a damn thing if Antifa broke in and like tried to overthrow the country. I mean, maybe he'd be surprised. He'd be like, "Oh my God, they're actually real."
So here was my one. Here was right, Antifa. I was just making you up.
Yeah.
I was thinking if Trump claimed to literally be Jesus Christ, then I don't think he'd have any problem with that.
No,
Yeah.
this, for the record, I put this above any sort of moral affront that Trump could do. Like that, like the only thing that could really change his mind is fucking with the money. So that, in Mike Johnson's mind, is above any sort of embarrassment he could suffer.
All right.
And he'd have to fuck with the money a lot, because Trump regularly fucks with the money.
Right. I was thinking, Danny, I mean, so you are watching it with him, like sitting next to him, not starring him.
Yeah, corrupting him.
Corrupting him.
Turning him worldly.
Got it. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna just go with Phil, just because like I think that nothing moral would ever get to Speaker Mike Johnson. He's just clearly a total snake.
I'm crushing this game with totally clear rules. I'm a champion.
Okay, moving on. What will it take for California, the great golden state, to snap? And by snap, I mean that you get two levels of snap. One is to have our senators basically constantly filibustering and bitching in the Senate about how much California has been getting the shaft, and then the other would be secede.
What would it take for California to secede?
Yes. So probably more than what's currently going against us. But if you read the Declaration of Independence, you might be like, huh, like unfair taxation, interesting. Insufficient representation, interesting. Anyways, yeah, so, California is about like 11 to 12% of America's population, but we have 2% representation in the Senate. We make about 14% of the country's GDP, and definitely giving more of that away to the rest of the country than receiving it. Our in tax benefits. No politicians give a shit about us, and that's not just us. The thing is, it's also not like necessarily California specific. So seceding, it would count if California leads a revolt of other states.
It's been a while since I've been to California, so I might not have gotten the wording completely correct on this one, but we'll see.
Okay. All right, perfect. All right, let's see it. What will it take for California to snap? U.S. found to contain chemicals known to the state of California to cause cancer. Military invasion by Texas. So if Texas were to invade California, at that point, California would secede.
Or like the Texas Republic Alliance.
Right.
Something like that. Louisiana gets in there too. Ohio.
That's interesting because, I mean, for Texas to do that, what is the United States military doing in this scenario? Exactly.
Backing Texas. I don't know.
Okay. All right, well, war was on my list. I thought in order for us to secede, I think if the U.S. invaded Canada, I think that might be enough.
Oh, wait, can't change my answer.
Yes.
In-N-Out threatens to move their headquarters.
And then you think California would secede just on the threat?
There would be like no point if we'd give up. We'd disband.
So Danny's is just 2. Phil gets 2 points. Well, or wait, did Phil go over? I feel like Texas
Did I go
invading...
over? Do you think there's an under point but
think...
before military invasion?
Yeah, so I hereby declare that Phil went over the limit with Texas invading California is even more serious than the U.S. invading Canada.
Yeah. So
But
the rest of the U.S. containing Prop 65 violating chemicals, that wins.
The clever tactic on that one, Danny. All right, let's see. Which one is next? Okay, this is one that's been bugging me for some times. Doctors and lawyers, the intelligentsia. Shit is whack, but the 1% are doing okay. And sure, they see the oligarchs buying up everything. Their retirement is in this bubbly stock market poised for a correction. They see the fraudsters getting pardoned. They see Trump making billions. But what will it take for them to actually, fund a militia and march on Washington? Or I don't know. What would they do? See it. The government spends tax money on the poors. That's enough. Then Danny or Phil, hold closer to the camera. Rotate away from the bright light.
It's the first they came for they poem.
Right. First they came for the
something, then something, then
style.
Something. Yeah.
Then they came for me.
And this is where they are. So they need to come for someone and then someone else and then someone else, and then there will be no one left. And then this is the point where they rebel.
Got it. When the government actually comes for them.
Yeah,
right.
they're the last one on the poem. They will actively comply and support until the very end.
It's an interesting take, not too dissimilar from mine. What was yours, Danny?
They spent tax money on the poor people.
Tax money on the poor people. Really? That would get the doctors and lawyers all mad?
Yeah,
okay, so I had two. Either way, Phil wins. One was nothing. They can always be cheaply bribed. But the other one was having their children drafted for an invasion of Canada, which basically I think counts as coming for them, coming for their children is basically that. I think Phil gets it. Danny's getting. Oh wait, no, it's 2-1. All right. Well, we're on the last one. Danny has his opportunity to pull it even in this, the most...
Surely we could think of a tiebreaker, unless these took a long time to prepare.
No, this did not take very long.
Are you kidding? Each one he did extensive research. He modeled hundreds of scenarios, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
To find that exact borderline.
So true. Okay. The average Trump voter has been badly mistreated by this president. He said he'd avoid foreign entanglements, but he started 2 wars. He said he'd stick it to the communists, but he's taken large national stakes in major businesses like Intel. He said he'd deport all the criminals, but he actually meant every brown person that ICE could lay hands on. The average Trump voter probably likes that. So here's my question. What would it take for the average Trump voter to snap? And by snap, I mean vote for a Democrat of Kamala's caliber. So what will it take for the average Trump voter to snap and vote for a Democrat of Kamala's caliber? Dude, Dan or Phil, it's all like, it's so
go like
bright.
this with your hand between, like, yeah.
All right, gas over $600 per barrel. Interesting. My answer was gas reaches $10 a gallon. Oh, $10 a gallon. Shoot, how many gallons are in a barrel? Is it 60?
Well, you have to refine it. It doesn't just go 1-to-1 oil to gasoline, right? Because, like, out of your oil, you get some gasoline, you get some kerosene. Like, it breaks it down into different stuff.
Yeah, $10 a gallon is what I put as where they would snap.
Okay, well, I went over.
So, Danny.
Numerically.
Either it's impossible or maybe if Fox News tells them to.
I couldn't quite decide. It's either nothing or maybe if the whole, like, propaganda machine turned against him, maybe they would turn against him too. Because he is pretty heavily empowered by this whole propaganda machine, I feel like.
I think with the if the SAVE Act gets passed, then not even death could prevent them from voting for Trump. They will surely be casting deceased ballots for 100 years in favor of the president.
All right, so I think Danny wins that one.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to do a tiebreaker. Shit, what should my tiebreaker be?
That's right. I won on the merits.
What's that? Oh, it's the president? Oh, you want me to give the point to Danny? Okay, I'll do it.
Take it back. I don't want it anymore. If he says up, I say down.
Here,
I feel
you guys
that way a lot.
Here, you guys pick one, and I'll wing it with my expert opinion. I'll be like,
I was trying to.
Yeah.
I was about to ask like when the last time you agreed with Trump was, but I think it was that leaked conversation he had with Netanyahu, where he was like, "Yeah, everyone fucking hates you now because of this goddamn war." It's like,
Was it?
what's wrong with you? Yeah,
I didn't know that happened.
yeah.
People do not like Netanyahu. That's true. All right. So, whose snapping should we reconsider for our tie break?
Who's snapping? Right. Melania.
Oh,
That's
that's a good one. All right. And what would snapping consist of? Just like leaving him and like
We're announcing
publicly-
support turning against him.
publicly being like, I filed for divorce. I think he's a terrible person. We should all stop supporting him.
I think she's an interesting case because she got in some hot water the other day. What did she say? She said, I've always been a supporter of LGBTQIA plus rights. And people got really mad at her.
Dang.
Danny.
Melania forgot to read her notes. All right, so I'll do my expert analysis on what it would take for Melania to snap, and then you guys can guess what I'm going to guess.
We guess what you guess.
Yep. All right, I've got it. My simulations are done.
Beep, boop, beep, boop.
Beep, boop, boop, boop. Science.
All right, so we're going for who guesses the closest to David's without going over.
Correct. All right, what you guys got?
He starts to lose his grip on power.
Yep. Yep. Phil, what is going on?
I'm just very close
Trump
to the light
stops
source. is
paying
all.
for her clothes. Okay, so I had two answers. One, Trump cuts her off, and then the other one, after he dies and she's trying to sell a book. So
Yeah.
I think you guys...
I like that, actually. That's probably the low point. So, that is almost assuredly going to happen because Trump's no spring chicken. Melania is significantly younger than him. She'll definitely die after him. So, yeah. That will almost certainly happen.
But I mean, I feel like those were exactly your two guesses were exactly my guesses. I think that was a
Great
tie.
minds.
I think that was a tie.
It's
We
ties
tied
all the
up
way
the
down.
tiebreaker?
We had another tiebreaker. All right, everyone, do your
Well,
best.
Though
you
it
know,
does
this
fit
is
with the
sort of a
theme.
socialist podcast, right? So it's fitting that we're all equal here.
There you
I
go.
was just going to say it fits with the theme of this 4th of July, which is disappointment.
Yeah. Cool. Well, great. Well, I learned a lot. Thanks, guys.
I certainly didn't unlearn anything.
All right. What do we got
Okay.
next, boys?
So I figured America, it's been around for 250 years.
Mm.
We've all been around for some amount of years, so we're basically an expert on existing for years. So I figured we could offer some expert analysis on whether or not we think the U.S. will be around for another 250 years.
Man, we're really digging deep into our expertise, aren't we? So much expert stuff being said.
It's the kind of logic that my youngest has used on me. It's like, oh, I'm 6. That means soon I'll be 7, and then soon I'll be 8, and then soon I'll be 9, and then soon I'll be 10, and then soon I'll be 11, then soon I'll be 12, then soon I'll be 13, then soon I'll be 14, then soon I'll be 15, then
So,
soon I'll be
Daddy,
16.
give me a drink. Daddy,
And I'll
give
be
me
a
a beer.
teenager.
She's not wrong.
That's why I've been saying that to the IRS, but they still won't send me my Social Security.
It's true. It's that greedy AARP. They're holding out on us.
Yeah. So, okay, that's the question. Will America be around for 250 more years, like as a single country?
Let's say, still largely intact and relatively politically continuous, such that 1,000 years afterwards, it wouldn't be like it's a different country or anything like that, or it broke into 12 countries, or...
I mean, I feel like the Constitution is already so strained, not really functioning as a governing document, that, well, it's like you could choose to define America, whatever, in addition to its geography, as its geography and its constitution, or like its form of government. There have to be major changes to this constitution, or it's just going to break. I mean, or it's just like a for show kind of a thing.
You just appoint sufficiently creative people to the Supreme Court, and then the Constitution says whatever you want to.
Right, exactly. And like Congress, like, why do they even exist? And yeah.
I think it mostly depends on how sticky the idea of America is, right? Because the country could end tomorrow in some massive split. But if you think about a country like China, right? the People's Republic of China has only been around for like 60 years, 80 years, something
75.
like that, 75 years. Yeah, but like China as an idea is hundreds of years old, maybe thousands.
Even.
Yeah, and who knows if future countries that occupy the same rough territorial span of North America will look back to their founding ancestors and be like, yeah, we're still basically America, even after like the 7th Civil War that split the country. Probably don't have that kind of staying power.
So
I don't know. I think we do. America's got a lot of cultural cachet. I think if it fell apart, people would be trying to put it back together again and be like, yeah, this is the third America. Same as Rome had.
Well,
right,
we're like an
did
ethnically
Rome still
diverse
exist?
country, though, and like
Right.
that's
Rome was ethnically diverse. Like, what are you saying?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, and people keep trying to like put Rome together, even if they have very tenuous connections. Like the Russian czars were supposedly continuing the legacy of Rome
If you think of the Holy Roman Empire as being Rome,
as Roman,
which
yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, that's Rome right in the name, though, bro.
Yeah, okay.
David's channeling his inner Voltaire. The Holy Roman Empire was neither holy nor Roman nor an empire.
I feel like in 250 years, we're going to have a pretty different... I don't think this whole nation, this whole country with borders thing... Like, I think there's a decent chance that doesn't pan out. 250 years is a long time. Technology has moved a lot. Robots can fight wars now. And we've got, these multinational, super wealthy... We've had them with us for some time. But it just feels like the technology is there to make it so that that physical proximity is less important. Yeah, like I could see a United Earth government and like spacefaring in 200 years, or I could see state governments just not even being relevant at all, and it's just these corporate things that don't even have much in the way of contiguous territory.
I was kind of thinking something along those lines as well. America is about as old as the idea of a nation state. Like we're close to there. The nation state as an idea on like a world history thing is kind of young.
Can you explain that to me? Because
there were kingdoms.
America, so there were kingdoms, but a kingdom is not a
empires.
Nation state. An empire is not a nation state. How not?
No, not really.
Because it's like they, come together because of like
state.
one guy conquering a bunch of disparate peoples together. It's not Rome as like a nation has some existence outside of the military's ability to weld it together.
Okay, so the nation is the group of people, and the state is the government of that group of people, as opposed to an empire.
It's an idea in which the state, which is the centralized political organization, and the nation, which is a community based on common identity, are congruent.
Got it. So, like, German unification would have been like a big example of the creation of a nation state.
Exactly.
Out
like
of what had formerly been a piece
This is
of
the
an
German government, and they rule over the Germans, right? Before then, you'd have like the Prussian king who would have his domains. Danny, name some domains.
I mean, in the Ottoman Empire, everybody was a slave of the Sultan except the Sultan. So there's one free guy, and everybody else was slaves, and the Sultan owned all the land and property. So that's pretty different than what you would conceive of as like a nation state.
Can we put a figure? How long do you think the United States will last? I'm gonna say 100 years.
100 more years, hopefully. Otherwise, you're saying the U.S. just
retroactively it ended. I'm just like a huge
1870.
Confederacy fan. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, like it's 100 more years. I think we're good for another 100 years of decline.
There's just too many scenarios. But in the scenario where like none of the shit that I was talking about just becomes too important, where none of the technology changes matter that much and people don't really change that much, America has got what it takes to go the distance and last a millennium. I think America has many natural advantages.
America has S-tier geography, that's for sure.
Mm.
Oh, I think we can last another few hundred years easily.
If a country joined the U.S. and that this somehow gets through Congress. If any country in the world joined America as another state or set of states, which country would you be most excited to join the Union?
Greenland. No, actually though, like or which would I be most excited about?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with India.
Who's on the team? That would be very interesting. Why India?
Because like they're a big giant democracy. I kind of feel like as a country they're sort of like on their way up, and we're kind of on the way down. So maybe we can
Maybe
pitch
we can
ourselves to
meet
this
in the middle.
behemoth.
Drag them
Yeah.
down with us.
No,
Plus-
dude. There's 1.4 billion of them, dude. They hardly notice.
In
Each of them
a
just have
sense,
to
we
lift,
would be
like-
joining them because they are much larger than us.
I think what Danny
Exactly.
means is somebody's got to pay for our Social Security, so it might as well be the 1.4 billion Indians. Is that what you're saying, Danny?
That's
Yeah, exactly. They famously have a lot of money, right?
yeah. From like a pure like cost benefit analysis, you'd want like a country with like a large young working population like Nigeria
I was
or
thinking
something like that.
if you're going to go that direction, you should probably look to Mexico. That seems like a more logical country to join.
Mexico makes a lot more sense since they're like close to
You
us.
didn't say what
and-
is the most sensible country. You
Right.
said what would I be most excited for?
Right.
I'm on your side.
So
I'm
maybe-
So sensible is
Vat-
the opposite of exciting.
I'm going to go with Vatican City. I'd be just like, holy shit. They're just like, you know what? Jesus, America. Like the Pope starts twirling his baton. I don't know.
We
the
just add like
possibilities are
eight
endless.
buildings to the United States. Woo!
I'm gonna say China. Super country.
Yeah, dude.
Turn the Pacific into an Americhina lake.
A Sino-American lake. Yeah, absolutely.
It would be something if we could find a way to kumbaya,
The American Communist Party would certainly have a resurgence, I bet.
They'd be excited. Yeah, I think if nothing else, I would be excited because the clash of trying to mesh those two systems together would be absolutely disastrous, but completely fascinating. They just would not work together at all.
Brexit times a million, basically. Cool. So yeah, there's the will America last another 250 years, and there's the should it. But yeah, here's to a better 250 years than the last 250.
Yeah, let's fund slightly fewer genocides than we did the last 250.
Less coups.
And that's gonna do it for another
Country toppling episode of Info Hazard.
yeah.
If you know what a nation
World.
state is, leave a comment.
Yeah.
Crash Phil's computer.
Tell us what a nation state is and why Rome was not a nation state.